You've heard of the Knights Templar, warriors of God, guardians of secrets, burned at the stake but never truly erased. Their treasure lost, their archives vanished. And their women? Almost never spoken of. Not because they didn't exist, but because they were hidden so well that history itself forgot them. What if the greatest Templar's secret wasn't gold or bloodline, but sisterhood? Imagine yourself before a ruined fortress in southern France. The sun bleeds out behind the towers, wind sighs through arrow slits, and beneath your feet, the earth is hollowed by centuries of prayer and battle. The story of the Templars echoes everywhere, yet something feels missing. A shape in the past deliberately erased. Because wherever men built empires, you found women, wives, sisters, daughters, patrons. Yet open any history book, and the women of the temple vanish. But traces remain. Across France, Portugal, and England are scattered anomalies. Graves with no names, seals carved by unfamiliar hands, property listed under sisters, and folk songs of white-robed women riding at night. These fragments hint at a forgotten presence. The official story insists the Templars were an all-male fraternity. Founded around 1119 by 9 knights, sanctioned by the Church, their order was bound by chastity, obedience, and poverty. Women were forbidden. It's a neat story, so neat it almost begs not to be questioned. But in medieval Europe, no institution functioned without women. The Church itself relied on female piety and wealth. The Templars, who managed estates, trade, and banking across Europe, could not have operated without female involvement. Indeed, early charters list noblewomen, like Countess Mannard of Anjou, donating not passively, but strategically, shaping alliances and securing influence. Across Spain, France, and the Germanic states, women appear as witnesses and custodians of Templar property. If their role was only economic, why do documents show them acting as guardians and even decision-makers? Some scholars argue the Templar prohibition was stricter in theory than in practice. Women weren't knights, but they could be financiers, patrons, or even spies. Others suggest something more radical, that the exclusion of women was a later invention. The original Templar rule, drafted under Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, barely mentions women. Only in later versions do harsh prohibitions appear, warning brothers not to kiss mothers, sisters, or even nuns. The language feels anxious, as if trying to bury a problem already too close. One French version even warns brothers to live apart from femmes de lait, women of the cloth. Were these simply nuns or servants, or an unofficial class of female adherents? Women who took vows, managed estates, healed the sick, or administered justice. If so, then later rules weren't about excluding women, but erasing them. This fits a wider pattern. Other monastic orders, like the Cistercians, spiritual cousins of the Templars, once allowed female houses, only to restrict them later when their influence grew too great. The Templars may have gone further, not restricting, but deleting. By the 13th century, the rule had ballooned from 72 to over 600 clauses, each new line tightening walls around the order's identity. Some manuscripts end with chilling finality: "Let no woman enter this house, lest the devil follow behind her." A warning, or a confession of fear. Meanwhile, evidence of female presence lingers in the margins. Some convents in Champagne, Aquitaine, and the Holy Roman Empire operated under Templar protection, sharing resources and jurisdiction. In northern Spain, a charter even reserves land for the sisters of the house. Not nuns, not wives, sisters. The terminology implies belonging, but unofficially. Who were they? Some may have been noble patrons like Queen Matilda of Boulogne, whispered to be a protector of Templar secrets. Others may have been lay sisters, collaborators, or even secret initiates. They weren't warriors with swords, but administrators, healers, couriers, and keepers of knowledge, the invisible scaffolding of the Templar Empire. And so we return to the silence. Perhaps the Templars erased their women not because they were absent, but because they were indispensable, and dangerous to remember. History prefers its legends clean, masculine, and unambiguous. But beneath the ashes of the order lies another story, not of treasure, but of erasure. Of women scrubbed from parchment, names buried, voices drowned. If you listen closely, though, through ruined cloisters, forgotten charters, and the obsessive lines of rules rewritten, you might still hear them. The Sisters of the Temple. Hidden, but never gone.